Well, greetings once again, fellow Star Trek fans. I got another real goodie to share with you. Classic from the original series, the original Star Trek. What I got to show you is from early in season 1, and it's before it was really, where Star Trek really started to get everything put into place. So there's a bunch of different people, different characters, and even the ship looked different. I am referring to the Enterprise herself, but it is not this one that I show you in 1350 scale. I will show you the U.S.S. Enterprise as shown in the first season, the early first season, specifically the episode Where No Man Has Gone Before. And there were different subtleties to the Enterprise. The Enterprise had these black markings on the tops of the saucer section. And they didn't have that later in the episode after season 1. And you can see the top. I don't know if you can tell or not. When I take it out of the box, you'll be able to see it better, but the bridge is higher. Higher than the bridge that eventually became normal for the top of the saucer section. And like I said, this is from the episode Where No Man Has Gone Before. There were different people in this episode, actually. As a matter of fact, this is an early season 1 episode where even the uniforms were different. Instead of the black collar around the neck, they had that kind of like a turtleneck. And this is actually before Mr. Chekhov was around. Yes, Mr. Sulu was around, but he was not at the helm. It was Gary Mitchell. Gary Mitchell had been Captain Kirk's friend. They were in the academy. Well, Gary Mitchell went through the academy when Captain Kirk was a Lieutenant Kirk, and he was a teacher. And interestingly enough, the Dr. McCoy, was not in this episode or around at this time. It was actually, I can't remember the actor's name, but the doctor was Mark Piper, Dr. Piper. And this has a tie going all the way back to, fans of the show in the 50s, The Rifleman, with Chuck Connors as Lucas McCain. Well, if you remember the sheriff, Micah, well, that's the doctor that's playing on the Enterprise right now. It would be at that time period, that's before Dr. McCoy takes over. And they also have a doctor, a psychiatrist. Let me see if I remember her name. Dr. Elizabeth Dana, I think. And again, I'm doing this all off the top of my head, so I'll put corrections up when I do the pictures to put into the video. But what ends up happening is the Enterprise gets they receive like a distress signal. And it turns out to be another Starfleet ship. It's the U.S.S. Valiant. And they end up locking on to what was the ship's recorder. And it was like a beacon. I guess it was jettisoned when it was destroyed. I guess you can kind of call it like a black box for the aircraft of today. Anyway, they beam it aboard the Enterprise, and all the log tapes go to the bridge, and Mr. Spock analyzes them. Mr. Spock realizes that they're frantic about learning about ESP. Well, to make a long story short, he tells the captain that it sounded like the captain of the Valiant ordered its self-destruction. Eventually, the Enterprise goes through the force field, and as a result, it comes out, and there are casualties, and the ship is badly damaged. But it does affect certain crew members. Dr. Dana is affected as Gary Mitchell, and it is deduced that the crew members are affected that had the highest perception of ESP. And Mr. Spock is growing concerned because he knows what happened on the Valiant. So to make a long story short, Gary Mitchell, after he's injured, he comes up, he has glowing eyes, and he kind of freaks everybody out. Mr. Spock is trying to warn what's going to happen, because he knows, having relived what happened on the Valiant. So the Enterprise finds that they can go to an ore mine. Oh, what's the name of the planet? Alpha Vega? I think it's Alpha Vega. I'm not sure. I'll put up the correction if that's not it. And it's totally deserted. It's totally automated. And their plan is to leave Gary Mitchell there. But what ends up happening is he just keeps getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And eventually, when he's in a brig down on the planet, he kills Lieutenant Kelso, who had rigged a detonation as a last resort if he had gotten loose. Anyway, he ends up getting stronger, and himself and Dr. Dana are affected. They end up leaving the compound where he was imprisoned, and they go off on the planet. Well, Captain Kirk knows that he's got to put an end to him before he gets any stronger. And ultimately, Dr. Dana gets the power as well, and she fights Gary Mitchell and allows Captain Kirk to eventually defeat him. Gary Mitchell makes a grave for Captain Kirk, and it's interesting because if you look at the headstone, it says James R. Kirk. And we all know that it's not James R. Kirk, it's James T. Kirk. Tiberius is his middle name. Anyway, the headstone reads that, and when they fight, Gary Mitchell ends up falling into the hole, and Captain Kirk uses the phaser cannon to dislodge a boulder that comes crashing down on him and kills him. Dr. Dana does end up dying at the end. Anyway, that's the episode that this ship is from. And after all that rambling, I hope you're still interested. This is the Diamond Select. This is the 40th anniversary, and I love these specialized Diamond Select ships. This is from where no man has gone before. The 16-inch starship, U.S.S. Enterprise NCC-1701, with authentic Star Trek sound effects, light-up engines, bridge, and sensor array. Well, it's interesting because the light-up engines, I don't think the nacelles or the Bassard collectors are going to light up, only because they had the caps on them with those protruding kind of antennas. You can see the side. It's got kind of that Star Trek the Motion Picture look to it for the 40th anniversary. And what's on the other side? I'll show you the other side. It's got that iconic Enterprise shot. I just love that. Is she gorgeous? 16-inch starship from ART Asylum. Taking a look at the back, you can see some of the other products that Diamond Select is working on. You can see information on the ship, warp drive, the red alert, the photon attack, the phaser attack, and a transporter. Authentic transporter Star Trek sound effects. That's pretty cool. It shows another great shot of the Enterprise. And some shots from the show. And some information. In 1966, Gene Roddenberry approached NBC with a show he had described as a wagon train to the stars. What he accomplished was beyond even his dreams, a phenomenon spanning 40 years, 5 long-running series, and 10 feature films. The fictional voyages of the U.S.S. Enterprise may have scanned the galaxy, but Roddenberry's idea moved the entire world. 40 years after its debut, the Starship Enterprise has become synonymous with Star Trek. Launched in 2246, the Constitution-class U.S.S. Enterprise NCC-1701 is perhaps the most famous ship in Federation history. Under the command of Captain Robert April, Christopher Pike, and most notably James T. Kirk, the Enterprise was responsible for making first contact with a variety of intelligent species, making scientific discoveries, and even defending the entire galaxy against hostile forces. Whether traveling through time or engaging Klingon battle cruisers, the crew of the USS Enterprise exceeded expectations and 40 years later continues to boldly go where no man has gone before. Not only is this iconic for Star Trek, but I think, hands down, I mean, Star Wars fans might get a little offended, but the Enterprise is the science fiction icon of the world. You see this ship, she's instantly recognizable, and totally, no matter who you are, if you're from Earth, you know this ship. So, without further ado, let me take her out of because I'm holding the camera, it's hard. Let me take her out of the box for you. Alright, so I took her out of the box, and I loosened up all of the ties. And it does come with paperwork, and I will show you what it comes with, but let me show you what I was talking about, the little antenna caps on the Bassard collectors, the earlier Enterprise, from the pilot, the cage. Is it like this in a menagerie? I think so, but I'm not positive. This, of course, is before we come to know the Bassard collectors that spin and light up. I like the spinning and the lighting a lot better, although these are cool looking. And a matter of fact, with this kit, you did have the option of getting an accessory for the 1350 Enterprise that you could do the caps with the antennas on the front and actually make this ship or the ship from the pilot. Okay, enough of that. Let's see. I'll show you all the paperwork that it comes with. Alright, let me try to do this with one hand. Nope. Alright, let me get it out of the package for you. Alright, so the first thing it comes with is information. A pamphlet for Diamond Select. It shows you all the cool things that are available. Star Trek The Next Generation. It shows you the Enterprise E. I do have an E that was Joe's that I'll be showing you guys shortly. Alright, what's on the back? And the back is the original series. Of course, that's from the iconic episode Mirror Mirror. And again, I apologize, it's hard to do this with one hand. Let's see the Kirks and the command chairs, and they had the different, the earlier versions of the bridge had that on the side of the captain's chair. And some information. You'll be able to see it better in a photograph, so if you want to read all this stuff, you can just pause it and check it out. Now when it comes to the instruction sheet, Classic Enterprise Pilot 2 version, where no man has gone before. So, let's open it up. There's just one side. 40th anniversary, shows the battery placement. 3 AAA batteries. Battery information. It shows you the stand. It's got that shark fin stand with the little pin that goes into the hole in the bottom of the ship. It shows you how to activate it and the sounds that it comes with. And there's nothing on the back. So, let's take her out and we'll get her out of the box and I'll show you what it looks like. So I took her out of the box and you can see all the stuff is glued into place. You got the fin-like stand, and it's got the little ball, but it actually has the pin that goes up underneath the ship. And it also gives you the option, if you don't want to put it on the stand or if you want to hang it, it's got the other bottom of the ship's hull you can put on, where it does not have the hole. But this is glued into place, and I don't want to take it apart just for one showing, so I'm going to leave this the way it is, and we can move on to the ship. It's actually going to be better visually, the way it is here, I can actually give you better shots. So you can see the top of the bridge is higher. Another difference is you notice the deflector dish is a lot larger on this version of her. And of course, the nacelles. You see the differences in the nacelle Bassard collectors. Let's see, are there any other differences right off the top? See, I've got lights on that one. Those lights in the back. There's supposed to be 3 white ones, but I thought it looked better with the red, the blue, and the green. And I like the different ones. So that's why I put that on my model. But this one just has the green observation deck. So we turn it around. Show you her other side, her port side. Again, she's just beautiful. The nacelles, the nacelle pylons, and the drives. Another difference is the back, where they had the they're like holes in the backs of the nacelles. I'll show you if you can actually see what's in the back of the way it is at that point. It's got the balls, kind of like white balls that are in the back. But this version has the holes in the back. And again, you had that option with the 1/350 scale Enterprise to make it into that version of the Enterprise if you so wished. It was a separate kit. So now let's see what she does. You push the bridge. Now, the episode that this ship is featured from does use the transporter beam, but at no point does... I don't recall a captain giving orders for weapons to full power. I do know that all decks red alert. He called a red alert when they brought the probe on board, or the recorder. I don't recall that other things. I don't remember the red alert sound. They did not use photon torpedoes, but it's still cool. What I'm thinking is they just have the basic sound effects from the show for their 40th anniversary. I did do the 40th anniversary, let's see, of this ship. I did the gold edition, and I'll put the link if you want to check that out down at the bottom. I don't remember if it was the same sound effects or not. I want to say it was. It would have been nice if they would have put the sound effects specific to the series episode, you know, with Gary Mitchell, and that would have been nice. But this is still pretty awesome. Now you got the phasers, the warp drive, and the captain didn't say that in that episode. Prepare to attack all hands battle stations. Let's see, is that it? And I was talking about the differences between this Enterprise and what it later became in the second and third seasons. Even the transporter room was different. Mr. Scott, when he activates the transporter beam, he just pushes buttons. You don't have that iconic slide where he slides up. That didn't come until after the ship had been redesigned. But there are interesting little differences, and like I said, Mr. Chekhov was not in this. Mr. Sulu was in it, but he was not in the helm. Let's see if you hold it down. As with all Diamond Select, if you hold it down for a specific time, you get the lights. I didn't notice the lights on the other one pulsating like that, but this is pretty beautiful shot right there. And she flies by. Let me show you the other side. Get a nice top shot. Look at that. Beautiful. Now there is a switch on the inside in the battery compartment. There's a switch that goes from the try me mode, which just plays one thing over and over again, and then you actually go to the play mode. And the play does all of the sound effects. While she's in the box, she only does one. And like I do for all my collectibles when it comes to Star Trek, the Diamond Select, or anything with batteries, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the batteries when she goes back into the box. That's another reason why I don't feel bad about taking everything out, because a lot of collectors are like, oh my, you can't open it up. But what I do is, not only do I get a chance to explore it and, well, yeah, play with it, I get to show you guys what it looks like, what it does, and what it comes with. And I'm going to take the batteries out anyway, just to risk, I don't want to risk damaging it, because the batteries over time can really do a number on the insides. So that's why I take them out of the box. I do a video, I show you what they're like, I enjoy them, then they go back in the box without the batteries. But this is the U.S.S. Enterprise from Diamond Select, the 40th edition. 40th anniversary edition, excuse me. And a specific episode is from Where No Man Has Gone Before. And that's the episode that featured Gary Mitchell and a host of different characters. And one last time, what I'll do is I'll take it out of this mode. You just push it to stop. And I'll turn it around and I'll go through the sound effects for you one more time, so you can enjoy it. And when you hold it down one last time, the lights stay on. And that, my friends, is the NCC-1701 U.S.S. Enterprise. 40th anniversary from Diamond Select. In specifics, the episode Where No Man Has Gone Before. You can see the markings that the ship has, the different measurements of the ship, and the bridge dome, A, B, and C decks. The Bussard collectors with the antennas. Even the front of the bridge has that marking. We get to see these more when they go and do mirror mirror. I believe it's this ship in mirror mirror because it has the antennas and the larger deflector dish, as well as the higher bridge dome and the black marking on the front. But if you were curious about this, and you might have seen it somewhere and you wondered what it did or what it looked like out of the box, then I hope this satisfied your curiosity. As usual, I'm always eager and excited to share my Star Trek collectibles with my fellow Star Trek fans. Even if you're not a Star Trek fan, you want to check it out. Even you got to admit, this is pretty cool. So I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you again very soon in another video.